Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. I want to show you a knife that I've been working on for the past day and a half now. It's been a project knife of mine. It's a knife you have never seen before on my channel and didn't even know that I've owned because I've never showed this in a video before. But it's the Benchmade 940 Osborne. I'm sure most of you have seen this knife before. I mean, in general, not that I had one. This was actually given to me by my brother-in-law about a year and a half ago. And the funny thing is, he found this knife in a parking lot one night. So, around $200 knife that he found. Then he gave to me. It was all beat up and scratched up and dull beyond belief. And like I said, it had some pitting in the scale or the frame. Some bad scratches and gouges out of the aluminum. But I took it and I sanded the aluminum frame down. Doesn't look too bad. I like it. There's some scratches on it. I didn't want it to be real polished. I wanted it to still have a little bit of traction. I didn't want it to be real slick, which this knife already is. But I think it looks good. That concave area right there, that's the green. The whole thing used to be that same shade of green. But like I said, it had scratches in it and everything, so I rubbed that down with some 600 and then 2000 grit sandpaper, and then polished it with the buffing wheel of my Dremel to give it that nice, clean, matte kind of finish. That green coating. Made it more uniform. Then you have it inside that V shape, which looks really cool. I like it. It's kind of a two-tone. It's a two-tone look. I like the way it looks personally. The green would not be my first choice, but I mean, it was given to me. It's got the purple anodized backspacer, titanium. That is a titanium backspacer. Held a magnet up to it. It had been scratched up a little bit, so it's not as purple as brand new ones look. Like, it was not going to show up in the light, but you can tell the bottom side is much more vibrant. But it's just a neat touch, so I'll clean those up a little bit. Like to have it re-anodized. The jimping. The jimping on the top right there was the same as this. You can see this jimping right here is very rounded. Typical Benchmade jimping. It's awful. It was the same exact jimping up top here. I cut into it with a Dremel cutting wheel. Made it a lot more sharp. It's not sharp like as in it hurts your thumb. And since the peaks of the jimping are flush with the aluminum frame, you really don't get that much grip, but it is better than nothing. It's better than it was, trust me. You can see the blade is kind of recurved where it's been resharpened so much by the previous owner. Tried to even it out a little bit. God, it had so many bad nicks in the blade. You can probably see that glimmer right there. Just rolls in the steel. It's S30V steel. 30V, Osborne design. 940. All the scratches. It's the reverse Tanto style blade. I like the spear point blades much better in this knife. But it is what it is. So I've been working on the edge a little bit today. It is sharp. It will cut through paper quite cleanly. It still has some catches on it. You can see the camera right there. Woo. It does have some spots where it catches, unfortunately. So I still need to work on the edge. Excuse me. But I mean, it is in working condition. I milled out an area right, or not milled, but I sanded out an area right there, so I can get my thumb down there to the thumb stud easier. Not that it was that hard to get to in the first place. Like you can see, it was this way on the opposite side. This is how it did look. The thumb studs are flush with the aluminum frames. But it wasn't that hard to get to, but I just wanted to make it a little bit easier. I figured I already modified it. It's not like anybody's going to want to buy it now anyway, or I could sell it, or I could send it to Benchmade to have fixed. So I might as well modify it to my heart's desire. So now it's just a little bit easier to get to that thumb stud. Because this knife is insanely light, and it's very thin. Very thin in both dimensions, in like width and then handle width like that. Insanely comfortable though. I mean, everything's smooth and rounded on this knife. I can definitely see the appeal. In my opinion, there's not enough about this knife that makes it worth the almost $200 price tag. I mean, you can get one of these off of knifeworks.com because they have the Benchmade discount codes that are like 30 to 40% off. So you can actually get one of these on Knifeworks for about, I don't know, $150 maybe, which is a good price. This is a really good knife. It is by far the smoothest knife that I own. That's saying a lot too. I mean, it feels like it's writing on glass. It is insane. I mean, it is just, and fast too. I mean, no effort to open it. I mean, I've never had a fail, like a false opening before. I've never had it half open. I mean, this is a very, very well-made Benchmade. The best made Benchmade I've ever owned, actually. I'd like to get one of the Bradley split arrow clips to put on here, because they are compatible with Benchmade knives, because they are Benchmade knives. Just made for Bradley. I have a black one, but it wouldn't really go with the design much. So I'd like to get a stainless, or not stainless, but a satin version. But yeah, buttery smooth. I mean, this thing is ridiculously smooth. And it doesn't really have any play either, side to side. Up and down it has no blade play. So I mean, it's insanely rock solid. Rock steady, if you will. Yeah, I think it looks good. It is definitely more presentable now. It looks like it came that way, in my opinion. I've been carrying this for a couple of days now, and I'm actually very pleased with it. This is actually a really good knife to carry. I can stick my hand in my pocket, and, you know, it's going to be clipped like this to my pocket, so this is going to be on the inside. When I stick my hand in my pocket, it's very, very smooth. There's no rough edges right here, like on a lot of knives that I carry that are G10. You know, it roughs up your hand and your knuckles a little bit. This is very comfortable. But you still have excellent traction just because the handle is nicely designed. But it's very smooth. I like it. Especially with that little bit of jimping, that little jimping modification I did. I really like it. Honestly, I wish I could get the scales sandblasted, or the frame sandblasted, I mean. I think that'd look really good. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you that knife I've been working on. I've never shown this on my channel before, and I actually want to review it now. This has kind of made me want to review it, that I fixed it, made it all pretty. Great knife. I recommend it, but it's definitely for a different purpose than a lot of my other knives. You know, I mean, I have my Spyderco Military Manix 2 XL ZT0561. This is not at all in the same category. I mean, you have a very long blade, but it's really thin. The scales are really smooth, thin. It's not a tactical blade. And that kind of goes against tradition of what I usually buy. But, I don't know. I really like it. It serves a different purpose. This is definitely just a dedicated EDC blade with no tactical application. I mean, you could put it in that role. You know, you can use any knife for self-defense, God forbid you had to. But I'm just saying it's not a designated tactical knife. That's not what it's designed for. What was the man's name? Warren Osborne, I think. I think that's his first name. He definitely designed this knife with everyday carry in mind, because it's so light for a big knife. I mean, it's a big blade. 3 3/4 inches, I think. It's so comfortable. It's really been a pleasure to EDC this knife. It's different for me. And it was free, so I mean, this has made me want to review this knife now. Let me know what you guys think of the mod. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you have any suggestions on some other mods. Alright guys, have a great rest of your night. Stay Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614, peace.